The third episode of Torchwood Miracle Day begins with Agent Rex breaking into CIA director and dinosaur fetus thief Wayne Knight's house and stealing his magic texting phone that he uses to receive orders from Dr. Claw. After evading police pursuit with surprising ease, the team is back at their comfy squat base. This is a little conceit of the series, that anyone can just find a nice, quiet, abandoned industrial space to squat in and fight the power from, without ever having to worry about it not having electricity, or being full of water, or bums, or those filthy crust punk kids who think it's cool to smell bad and dress like Waterworld extras. And of course their computers and potato chips are always there for them when they get back. Out on the street, the most visually interesting element of the series is proceeding by. The Soulless, a new-formed cult that views the loss of mortality as the loss of their immortal souls, are holding a candlelight vigil, presumably for their souls. The Soulless wear sharp-looking white plastic masks with sad Japanesey-looking faces on them. The inspiration here seems to be from the Anonymous' use of the V for Vendetta masks. The fact that Starz reps were not handing these things out at Comic-Con this weekend is proof that they have no idea how to buzz a property. The other visually striking bit in the episode is the scene where Captain Jack decides that it's been 2.5 episodes and he hasn't engaged in any over-the-top gay antics yet, and runs straight into a conveniently near gay bar to gay it up with the gays. Oh, does he ever want to take us to a gay bar? It may or may not start a nuclear war, but it does result in some extremely naked nakedness. The move to American cable has been good for the yaoi-loving contingent of the Torchwood fanbase, and they are given bucket after bucket full of steaming hot man-meat fan service. Captain Jack was Doctor Who's first foray into slash-fiction bait, and he's practically starring in it here. There's something unintentionally hilarious about the fact that John Barrowman is the series regular, and he's the one to show his bare ass first, in spite of the presence of the one-and-done boy toy character. Now, I actually do have an issue with this scene, and it's not the gay, and it's not the graphicness, or the pandering to the lonely, frustrated female fanbase. It's the calculation of it. This, and possibly other scenes, will not be airing on the BBC, enabling them to promote the DVD release as uncut or unrated or whatever. Now, Torchwood has always propped up its low-quality storytelling with sex right from the beginning. The very first episode was a sex monster, and it wasn't long after that they had that ridiculous 7 of 9 knockoff Cyberwoman strutting around like she made any sense with her tits hanging out. Once we're finally back on track, we get a few leads that leads us to big meeting where it's being announced that there is a motion in Congress to do away with the prescription system entirely and make all drugs over-the-counter. This, along with the discovery that evil drug company Phi-Corp has a Raiders of the Lost Ark-sized warehouse full of painkillers, points the arrow of suspicion in their direction. It's looking more and more like Phi-Corp started all of this to make a fortune selling drugs. Now, making all humans immortal just to sell them painkillers and antibiotics seems a bit overkill to me, but what the hell, a plot has finally materialized in the third episode, so who am I to scoff at it? Our child killer is then confronted by Jack, who extracts a confession from him that he really isn't sorry that he killed the little girl, and that he relives it every night because it was the best moment of his entire life. This confession does Jack very little good, since he's then beaten up by Phi-Corp thugs, who steal his audio recorder and toss him into the street, where members of the Soulless cult and various nutjobs are standing around waiting to worship Oswald, whom they now adore as the risen god. Seeing as this was written by Brits, I'd like to stand up for the intelligence of my fellow Americans, but Transformers Dark of the Moon was #1 at the box office here for 3 weeks in a row, so yeah, sure, maybe we'd start worshipping a pedophile murderer if we were told to by the TV. Why not?